So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to some late-season girls soccer here on IndianaSRN. The number 3 Indiana Heritage Christian Eagles at 6-5, and the Brownsburg Bulldogs, Class 3A. They are 2-9-1. Our broadcast is brought to you by a few of our friends. The Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Bertner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and surrounding counties. IU Sports Management, begin your journey today. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and community since 1955. Alongside Jared Lewis, I'm Jonathan Mathis. And what are you looking forward to today, Jared? We got playoffs coming up soon and two teams looking to build some momentum.
That's for sure. And this Heritage Christian team, they're going to be exciting to watch. And, you know, what they've been able to put together this entire season, plenty of girls that are capable of scoring the ball. And that's one of the reasons why they're ranked so high in their class at number 3, the defending state champions, for a reason. And bouncing back and putting together a really good season so far this year. Brownsburg, a little bit different story, although the record is kind of, you know, it doesn't tell the whole story, right? At 2-9-1, you know, a lot of young girls on this team, a very tough schedule that they have to go through as well. I think we'll see a competitive matchup, one that people looking at it on paper may not expect, but I think it'll be a close one throughout.
By some measures, it's the toughest schedule in the state, and Brownsburg, they've had some daunting games, they've had some close games. They've lost by 1 goal or less on multiple occasions, 4 times. They're coming off a 2-game losing streak. But the schedule is tough. It's going to get tough as we go on. But if you're looking for tournament play, then for Heritage Christian, what a great opponent to have for senior night. A 3A school that is used to success and always dangerous.
And this is also an instance where you don't want to overlook your opponent. You do have senior night, like you mentioned. You're on your home turf. You're playing some of your best soccer that you have so far this year. Definitely don't want to overlook the Bulldogs. It is going to be a challenge, so take it as such. You know, contribute in ways where you know, the things you worked on in practice, make sure you're putting that out on the field, and you're continue to work on that as you enter into tournament play, where the Eagles, it seems like they always are having success when it comes to tournament play. And whenever we talk about this Heritage Christian school overall, you know, whether it's basketball when we see them, or football, or volleyball, even soccer, you know, they're always putting together a good program and a good effort out on the field or out on the court. We can expect the same here tonight.
Heritage Christian, their offense was on point last 2 games, scoring 15 goals, 15-1 if you combine it between Covenant Christian and Triton Central. Brownsburg, their defense has struggled a little bit, but when you play Fishers and you play Noblesville, 2 of the top teams in Class 3A, that'll definitely do it. It'll make it more challenging. Looking at our starting lineups today, Natalie Kerna is in goal, a freshman for Heritage Christian. Bella Snyder, a freshman. Alana Jordan, a freshman. Mackenzie Jones, a sophomore. And Maggie Vanderwiley, a senior, is the back line. The defenders, as you can tell by that, a lot of youth there. They've had a lot of growing over the course of the season. The midfielders are number 9, Amy Lozano Fuentes, a junior. Kaya Cook, number 20, a sophomore. Zara Winston, a sophomore. And Corin Marshall, a junior. Lozano, Fuentes, and Crook and Marshall were starters, regular starters on the team that won state last year. Abby Folk is very dangerous. She scored 16 goals this season. And Jocelyn Marshall are the 2 upfielders playing on the wings, leading the attack. For Brownsburg, Ana Skeda Mendoza, the senior, is the goalie. Their back line, Natalie Hay, Maya Ferkowitz, Elizabeth Lantrip, and Kirsten Talukian are the defense. Defenders, the midfielders, Olivia Percy, Elizabeth Fisher, Haley Hoskins, and Zaylee Sox. And then the 2 upfielders, Sophie Dawson and Olivia Johnson. Johnson, a senior, a player to look out for that head coach Josh George was very high on, is Haley Hoskins, who we just mentioned, one of the midfielders. She's got a lot of college looks, and if you're a player garnering that type of attention, what another way to prove yourself than on IndianaSRN on a Monday night.
That's exactly right. A good chance to show off exactly what kind of skills you're working with. And yeah, Coach is very high on Hoskins and leading the team in just about every statistical category, and he thinks she could be the best player on the field this afternoon, and really we can't wait to see if that does come to fruition.
Well, I think what's interesting, Jared, is you look at Brownsburg offensively. They've scored just 13 goals this season. That's 1.08 per game. But it's very balanced. Nobody has more than 2, but there are 5 girls who've scored twice. And we'll have more in a moment when we come back here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School for a number 3 1A school versus a team hungry to make up for lost ground from Class 3A. It's Heritage Christian versus Brownsburg. Jared Lewis, what are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
I'm looking forward to see how early and often we get Abby Folk involved in the Heritage Christian offense. Her numbers have been extraordinary this year. As just a freshman, she's top 5 in the state in scoring as far as she's a sophomore, excuse me. So as far as sophomores go, but she has 16 goals this year. She had 5 of them versus Triton Central in one game. She has been terrific here of late. How early and often is she in attack mode?
Yeah, not only 5 versus Triton Central, 7 goals the last 2 games. That'll blow up the old the average. She had only 7 measly goals on the season before the last 2 games.
And 5 goals in one game, the one against Triton Central, is more than any Brownsburg player has scored this entire season. So her offense has been terrific. One of the reasons why Heritage Christian is so highly ranked.
Another player, Kaya Crook, the sophomore, she's had a hat trick in her last 3 games, and we'll see how all of this will play out as Brownsburg try and just navigate up the pitch, set up their offense. That one plucked away by Amy Lozano Fuentes, one of the captains. She's a junior. She has been outstanding this season, and somebody that Raina Eckel, the head coach for Heritage Christian, she's very fond of. She told us that she's seen a lot of growth out of the players who returned from the state championship team a year ago. They graduated a lot of key players, but the ones who came back got to bring that very valuable senior leadership. And what more valuable senior leadership than these girls just won state last year?
Yeah, it kind of relates to, if you think of a professional team who, say, wins the Super Bowl or wins the World Series, you can expect maybe a letdown year the following year. You might lose guys to free agency, and in this instance, you lose a lot of key players.
A little dribbler there from Crook that was gobbled up by the goalie, Anna Escada Mendoza, and Mendoza will send this one back into play.
Yeah, you lose girls to graduation, and so now you need some of the youth, some of the freshmen and sophomores to step up and play bigger roles, and you're getting that in a lot of these girls that are on Heritage Christian.
There is Jordan trying to keep it in play, plucked away, and then the midfield battle will be so decisive today. Sophia Dawson still has it, trying to find a way to pierce that Heritage Christian back line. They keep their structure pretty well for the moment as Elizabeth Fisher pokes and prods. Lays it back to Mitchell. That pass picked away. Looking to get it to Olivia Piercy, who has 1 assist on the season. And that's a player to look out for, number 14 in blue, Abby Folk. Abby Folk has scored in bunches this season, as Jared said. 4th most as a sophomore in the state. We're looking at the numbers, and it's pretty remarkable as Sox, as the offside flag is up, and it'll be a throw-in upcoming. But when you look at Class 1A, it'll be a throw-in. It'll be a throw-in for Brownsburg. There's some just preposterously amazing goal-scoring numbers. There's one young lady who had over 30, and it was like, holy smokes. And so Folk has 16, but is not at the top, and that shot easily saved by Kernet.
Just shows how different a lot of teams can be. You can have one girl, like we just mentioned, who sounds like is scoring just about every single goal. But it is a team sport after all, and you get another instance like what we've seen in Brownsburg, where there's 5 girls who all each have 2 goals apiece on the season.
They're trying to get the ball back to Folk. That one easily taken away. A little rush here by Brownsburg. Trying to get some width. Fisher plays it back in, looking to thread the needle. There's a little chip, but a good cover-up by Bella Snyder. And that looks like it's going to force our first corner kick of this match. And a great scoring opportunity right out of the get-go. Not even 4 minutes in for Brownsburg, looking to make up some ground. Both of these teams have struggled in conference play this season, but both of them are just playing brutal conferences. See a little whirling dervish there of the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and now here comes the rush. Headed on, not able to sweep it in just yet. Ferkowitz can't find her way through, and it looks like Heritage Christian has survived that attack.
Good defensive stand by the Eagles after Brownsburg had the first really purely good look at trying to score before the corner kick.
Mackenzie Jones to throw it back in, one of the center backs. And that's half the battle. You just got to be able to survive. And as Brownsburg, they've been able to shift some of this momentum. Their direction is just one tricky play maybe there can change the story. Not able to pierce it through, but it just feels the Bulldogs have been able to maintain some of that control of this match so far. Seen a little bit more of Natalie Kernet, and she's going to be under duress again if Heritage Christian isn't careful. Jordan taking it away. Fisher winning it back. And this is Lozano Fuentes, one of the captains. 3 captains for Heritage Christian this year. Lozano Fuentes, Maggie Vanderweil, and Devin Moore. And a drive towards goal, save made by Kernet.
Pretty deep shot right around the 20-yard line. Put a nice boot into it.
It really helps you be able to measure the shot distances when they got
Yes,
the
it
football
does.
field still out there. Taken away by Folk. Still alive, shoves the girl down, and a whistle blown by our referee. And we'll call the foul on that play. A little too aggressive by Abby Folk, the splendid sophomore for Heritage Christian.
And the Eagles really had something going, it appeared. I think if Folk is able to get past that defender, right where that ball is sitting at that 35-yard line, the Eagles are kind of cooking with something. A girl on each side, so they had their choice.
And one defender shrugged off by Bella Snyder, and then that one just beyond the reach of Jocelyn Marshall, the sophomore. She scored twice this season, 2 assists.
Marshall had a lot of green in front of her. If she tracks that ball down, it's going to be a one-on-one situation.
I think what's interesting thus far, it seems Brownsburg, they just are swarming Folk. They don't want to let her have any room.
I'd say it's probably a pretty good strategy. Be worth the try.
Jones. Ball won back by Lozano Fuentes. Middle of the pitch, kind of just lobbed up for grabs, controlled by Fisher. To Lakainen. Turns it over to Jones. And now taking her time with it is Sophia Dawson. Folk there again, very pesky. Easy to spot with those the bottom of her cleats being neon green. Here's a attack for Brownsburg. Took it in very deep, and it looks like flag was up, but easily dealt with by Heritage Christian and Natalie Kernet.
Yeah, maybe a little too deep, but also pretty good defense for Heritage Christian. I believe Snyder was there in the area.
Jordan, an imposing defender, just someone that tall. It's hard to get around. Can't really attack him in the air. Marshall. Jocelyn Marshall. 2 Marshalls on the field right now for Heritage Christian. Corin the other one. Can Jocelyn get there? She cannot. And as we said at the beginning of the match, it looked a lot like Brownsburg controlling the tempo. Now Heritage Christian seems to be controlling some of at least the middle of the pitch. We haven't seen much from the Brownsburg offense in a while.
And both teams also trying to figure out their timing too. There's going to come a point where someone's going to have to make a pretty good pinpoint pass up the field. But so far, a couple of passes just been out of the reach.
Hoskins was trying to connect with Zaylee Sox, and the freshman not able to get there. Maybe the pass a little too deep down the back line, and it'll be a goal kick for Heritage Christian. It looks like those honors Bella Snyder, one of the freshmen.
Push in on that, Joel.
And she's going to line it up. Nobody will win in the air. Jordan trying to track it down along the sideline, and it is off of Jordan. So a throw in from Brownsburg, but it does push the Bulldogs back a little bit. We mentioned in the opening, Brownsburg, their offense has not really been too inspiring this season. They do feel like they've just had some misses, opportunities, great plays by goalies, and it's a matter of inches sometime when you're trying to find the back of the net. They average just over 1 goal per game, which is not terrible, but not good. And then defensively, they allow just over 2 goals per game. And the number, keep this in mind, folks, is 2.17. 2.17. Heritage Christian, their offense, they score on average 3.4 goals per game, which is outstanding. And defensively, they allow 2.27. So they're a little bit more prone to allowing some goals. They allow more goals per game than Brownsburg has on average. Brownsburg has given up 1 more goal in actuality, but they've also played 1 more game. So defenses have been relatively similar, and I wouldn't say they're porous, but they give up chances. And looking for one here is Lantrip. Feeds it in front, tricky ball. Can Heritage Christian clear it? They haven't yet. Jordan swipes it away. And look, heady play here by the Bulldogs. The cross not crisp enough. Here's a wind-up. And wide. So it'll be a goal kick for Heritage Christian. But one from distance and not really feeling the confidence to just try to work it on through. But if you take a few of those chances, another shot at goal, maybe.
10 minutes in, the aggression has, the meter of aggression has been tilting over to the side of Brownsburg just a little bit more. We've seen a lot more chances for them, a lot of cross kicks. That Heritage Christian in good position to defend, but things have been getting a little bit dicey.
Folk. It feels like where Heritage Christian has done so well over the last 10 minutes or so, in the middle of the field, they haven't really been able to engage their forwards. They haven't really been able to engage their offense. They've been working well in this juncture as Brownsburg is playing well right in the middle. Hoskins lost it for a moment. Folk reclaims it for Heritage Christian, but we haven't really seen him threaten Mendoza in goal yet. Maybe this will be it. Winston leaves it right in the middle. A little misplay more, not able to time it up well. And Brownsburg sweeps away with it. And on a really good run here is Lantrip. She feeds it up. Now that's in the teeth of the Heritage Christian defense, but a wind-up, and Kernut is able to make the save. And by our unofficial count, 4th shot of the match by Brownsburg, just won by Heritage Christian, although not all of those on target.
Lantrip covered a lot of ground in those couple of seconds. First, defensively being in the right spot, as Heritage Christian had a really good look at it, good passing in the middle of the field, and then taking it all the way to the other end, setting up another shot on goal.
That pass a little too far in front of Fisher, but But yeah, Brownsburg, when they've got their opportunities, they've been able to attack this Heritage Christian defense. They just haven't been able to get high-quality chances, at least not as of yet. We'll see. Fisher breezes by Vanderweil, takes it baseline, leaves it in front, but that one is swept clean. And it'll be left back for the goal kick after a violation. About 27.5 minutes to go here, first half. Stalemate to this point. Another ball won by Brownsburg. Can Heritage Christian make something of this? It doesn't look like they're going to. The defensive midfield for Brownsburg, they've been doing a really good job, Jared, just taking defensive opportunities and turning them into offense.
It would be great if we were stats guys or numbers guys and we kept track of field position time, how much Brownsburg is on this side of the 50-yard line and how much Heritage Christian is. It seems like it's about 75% on the Brownsburg side here so far. Heritage Christian really hasn't had anything to where, they can set up anything offensively. Brownsburg's been on the run a lot more.
Natalie Hay will restart this game. Cross up high and out of play. Not able to zip it well enough. So it'll be a goal kick for Heritage Christian. It does. It seems like Heritage Christian, they are able to get the ball to about midfield, maybe to the opposing 40-yard line, and then Brownsburg able to win it back. And then the Bulldogs just will drive through that Heritage Christian defense. Folk hasn't been able to work her magic just yet. Here's Mackenzie Jones. Now, keep in mind, football fields are more narrow than soccer fields, so this is always a little confusing. But the out-of-bounds line is that yellow one at the bottom that right now racing along it is Winston. Can she cross up? Tulakainen, no. Tulakainen forces it out for a Heritage Christian throw-in. But a good run there by Zara Winston. And that's what you want to see if you're Heritage Christian.
Yeah, that's that timing we kind of talked about earlier where they had kind of put it out too far in front of Marshall, but that time to track it down for Heritage Christian was Winston.
Ready for another throw in. Marshall, the junior. Almost. Lozana Fuentes almost got her foot on it, and that could have been trouble. The Bulldogs looking to turn some defense into offense yet again. Hoskins. Getting a lot of mail from some colleges looking for her services in a couple of years. But she's been a player that Josh George said we need to look out for, and she's been looking good so far tonight. Folk leaves this one in front. If this is onside, it would have been fantastic. But it is not for Heritage Christian, and it will be a goal kick for Brownsburg.
That was awfully close.
Or a free kick for Brownsburg.
Very good look, though. That's one that the Eagles are going to want to try and build off of because it's been a couple of times where Crook, I think she has good enough speed. She can get out into a position like that, of course being on sides, but get into a position to put off a shot.
Here's Dawson. This time, Maggie Vanderweile able to fend her off. See who the ball's awarded to. It's going to be a throw-in for Brownsburg, it appears. So not quite a corner kick, but a good chance nevertheless. 24 minutes left here in the first half. Scoreless draw at the moment. Heritage Christian ball, goal kick. Lately, if we had one of the European-style fit charts, Heritage Christian, they lost on September 12th to Guerin Catholic 2-5. But they've won their last two in commanding fashion. Took down Covenant Christian 6-1 last Thursday, and then on Saturday beat Triton Central. And was that a goal? It was from distance.
That's Hoskins. We just talked about her. That one was deep, Jonathan.
That was a pretty look from Hoskins. And Brownsburg, no need to do any working around in there. Just line it up from distance and blast it home.
How about blast it from the 30-yard line? So 40 yards out, knocking it through. Well done by Hoskins, her 3rd goal of the year.
Not too shabby. 10th point of the year, if you add it all up, and we'll see how Brownsburg carries this. Brownsburg 1 goal between their last 2 matches, both losses, and that's going to be a huge confidence boost for these Bulldogs as they look to spoil senior day. Careful there, as Mendoza had to come way offline to save a pass that wasn't crisp enough, almost run in by Winston. And I think Heritage Christian, they're looking to keep some pokers in the fire here as Folk lays it outside. Threat still on. Nobody on the end of that rush, though. And Mendoza claims it.
Quite the effort by Mendoza, though. That was very sketchy. But her effort got her there.
Yeah, you can just see the ball just trickling. Another chance here, onside, but not enough on it from the dangerous Haley Hoskins. And if you're going to highlight a player in pregame and she comes through, that works out pretty well. And Coach didn't dissuade us, Hoskins. I think you can see why so many people are looking into her for playing post Brown or when her Brownsburg career comes to a close. Fisher. To Lekainen. Dawson. Fisher. Lantrip lost it. Retrieving Natalie Hay, the junior. Fed it in front and with an explosion of speed, Folk has a player towards her right, but it was not timed up well and easy for Mendoza. You could see what she was thinking, but it just one player zigged and the other one zagged. I think it was. I couldn't tell exactly who it was, but just not able to time that pass up.
I think it could have been Kaya Crook. She's been working both sides of the field. She was one who we alluded to earlier that with her speed, she can get past that defensive line, but right, she went the other way, and her teammate was thinking pass forward.
It's a header battle, an aerial barrage between these two, and they're going to buzz Devin Moore for trying to push off her back. You can't use the opponent to launch yourself in the air, which is what she tried to do. It was caught red-handed. 20 minutes to go, first half. Brownsburg was poking and poking and poking, and then just a few moments ago, Haley Hoskins, a rocket from her right foot. Volk won it. The dangerous Zara Winston. Here's Folk. 16 goals to her credit, looking for a 17th. Tough challenge there from Lantrip.
Well done by Lantrip and well done by everybody who followed suit. Brownsburg defensively getting back well in time, and Folk didn't have very much room to maneuver around.
It'll be thrown by Vanderwiley as subs come in and out for both teams. We've played almost 21 minutes, 20 and a half. Vanderwiley gives it a little heave-ho. Folk to Lekainen. Two of the top players in today's match face off against each other. This ball fed up to Keisha Hansen. And here's a great chance for Brownsburg. Johnson sends it in, and a diving save by Kernut, just erasing any opportunity at a shot on that play. I think she had enough of that long distance one that she would have had to been, 8 feet tall to make a save on from that distance shot.
Well done by Kernut. Great vision to pounce at the right time.
For the throw-in. That ball thrown off of a Heritage Christian Eagle. Marshall. Jocelyn. Tricky pass. Is very ambitious. Been hard to nail. Here's Lozana Fuentes. And controlled by Brownsburg. We'll see what they're able to do. Looking to flip the field maybe. They'll play right into the teeth of the Heritage Christian offense. Tricky ball here. Folk. Where's she go with it? And dropped it back to Jordan. Now, let's see if Heritage Christian can get it. Their offense going. That's not going to help. Pass well wide by Bella Snyder, the freshman. Hoskins. And a misplay. 17 minutes in. Haley Hoskins, the one goal of this match. And Devin Morris, I guess somehow that was not off of her. Corin Marshall will heave it in. Slowly here comes Brownsburg. Little stumble there by Johnson, pressured by Jordan. Jordan started as one of the cornerbacks and ranging all the way up in the offensive side, trying to just get as many fresh bodies up there, get as many opportunities for Heritage Christian. But here comes Brownsburg. Lantrip. And it should be a throw-in for the Eagles.
You can kind of see past the halfway point a little bit, some fatigue starting to set in, see some of those passes that are just out in front of girls. You know, they seem a little bit farther away now, and could very well see a couple of substitutions here as we get close to the 16-minute mark, winding down this first half.
It's interesting, Jared. You just have Brownsburg was getting so many more shots up earlier in this match, and since that goal, they haven't really gotten too many real chances. I guess even the Hoskins shot, you would typically would say, well, that's not going to work, but it worked. She nailed it. But they haven't really got too many shots on goal of late. Here's some better offensive structure for Brownsburg. Weave it in front, not able to make the connection on the pass, and a ground ball fielded cleanly by Kernut. Natalie, her brother, a goalie on the boys team, sister, one of the main players on the state champion a year ago. She has her chance in goal tonight. And it just seems like these longer passes, Heritage Christian has not been able to connect on. That ball left behind Vanderwiley. The Heritage Christian defense up for the challenge. Moore fends it up. Here's Folk. Has had to do most of her work in the midfield. Good pass here. Can Winston capitalize on it? No. Nice defense by Brownsburg. Christina Jarrell, the freshman, looking more like a junior and upperclassman, just able to keep pace with Winston, kept her behind her, and not allowing that scoring chance.
You know, Winston even came a couple of steps from behind Jarrell and was able to catch up to her. Jarrell not gonna let her off the hook that easy, though.
Yeah, you see it right there. She's just sticking on her like a fly on wax paper. Folk, with 5 white jerseys around her, still able to get a shot off, and a save made by Mendoza, and her not able to just hold on to it gives Heritage Christian a great chance here. Should be a corner kick, you'd think, as everybody's going to get in position.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see her. She's going to be upset with herself not able to save it, but great save nonetheless. Folk, always dangerous when she is within 10 yards from the net.
So wait for the corner kick opportunity here in the final quarter of this first half. Rush on in, deflected easily away, just fended off. And here's a long run by Lozano Fuentes to keep it in play. So one chance, not much doing for Heritage Christian, and now Brownsburg looking to turn this into their advantage. Dawson. Oh, careful. Landtrip in pursuit, as was the ever so dangerous junior Haley Hoskins. And Carnett plucks it up. This broadcast, by the way, is copywritten by the IndianaSRN and Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures and video and audio without express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. So, Jared, don't do it. Don't
I don't even know if I know how to do it, so I don't think I will.
See, that's the right attitude to have. Waiting for subs as the throw-ins coming. Clock will continue to roll. As with most soccer, there's no if hadn't seen much high school soccer, there's no stoppage time like there is in world soccer. You just play until the clock hits 0. They do stop for on scores, unlike in world soccer. They'll stop for injuries, which they don't. Winston. She has a player towards her right, if she can weave it through. Jocelyn Marshall's there, but the pass was way behind her. I think Jocelyn Marshall outran it a little bit. Brownsburg feeling frisky here, looking down the near sideline. Good run. And who was that off? It was off of Elizabeth Landtrip, the freshman from Brownsburg. So it'll be Heritage Christian throw-in, but you see just how quickly that Brownsburg counterattack could get going.
Landtrip is a really exciting player to watch, and she's really been all over the field. Both sides, offense and defense, and just a freshman, too, already showing great signs for the future.
Folk is weaving her way through.
She was looking for somebody.
She didn't find anyone. She didn't find anyone in blue. Fortunately, a very easy uniform. There's no mixing up who's who. Who's who in this one? Hey, we'll just play this back to Mendoza. Marshall. Nice pass outside to Fisher. And now Brownsburg's got Heritage Christian in a tight spot if they can keep capitalizing on it. Fisher lines it up and into the side of the net. Always a deceptive angle.
At that point, you're just checking out reactions, seeing, okay, who's celebrating and who's not.
Yeah, are they just wandering around. 10 minutes to go here, first half. 1-0 thanks to Haley Hoskins. Third goal of the season, leads the way now for Brownsburg. She breaks a 5-way tie for the goal-scoring leader for the Bulldogs. Maya Furkowitz, Zaylee Sox, Elizabeth Fisher, and Sophia Dawson all had 2, and they still do. But Hoskins, sole possession in first place at the moment. Here's Dawson. Crafty around Crook. Earns a throw in for her efforts. It's going to roll in front and rolls a little wide. Not able to time that one up too well. And that ball just forced out by Mackenzie Jones. So we'll just flip it around, do the same thing. Another throw in here. And sometimes you'll see they'll get a little over eager on the throw in. Get too far down. So you have to throw it in from the exact same spot that it went out, or approximately. So if you take it too far down, and they'll make you do it again, which you saw right there. And that's a foul on Heritage Christian, so it should be a free kick for Brownsburg as everyone trots on in towards the box. So this will work out almost like a corner kick. Sent in a little low. Not able to turn around on it. Not able to. That's covered up very well by Heritage Christian and Folk.
I think Winston took a shot to the face, either from someone's arm of Brownsburg or maybe the ball, but she was in the right spot to defend that one off, but ended up paying the price for it.
She later body down for her friends. You know, put it on the line. Everything.
That's
Face
what it's
everything.
all about.
Hoifed in and gobbled up by Kernot. Most recent shots have been pretty easy to deal with, and I think you've seen Natalie Kernot too. She's been a lot more aggressive in goal, just coming off line, trying to erase chances before they can develop. She might not have that luxury here as Brownsburg there. The Heritage Christian defense stands tall. And sometimes if you're a goalie, it can become exhausting. You fend off one shot, and then all of a sudden here they come right back at you. It's almost like the tide just rolling in. Whistle up, most likely for an offsides, and that would be another goal kick. And you can see that too when goalies, sometimes they'll just let a field player do the kicking for them. This one not a goal kick, this is a free kick. But if you're just so busy trying to fend off opposing shot attempts, then don't double dip and have to do these long boots too. Crook. Winston. Not in an ideal position. I think we've seen her tonight. She likes to just get out and run in the open field. Vander Wiley. Trying to make a play on this or just see it out of play. She'll see it out of play. And it should be a Heritage Christian throw in, you would think. And it is.
Pretty good idea, though, by Johnson. She tried to hook up with Hansen with that cross kick, and kind of goes back to the timing that we mentioned. But still, the ball staying on this side of the field. We haven't seen the north end of the football field in quite some time.
No, we haven't. Not for the last 8 minutes or so. Here's another throw in for Brownsburg. They're winning the field position battle. At least they have for the last 20 minutes or so. Jordan, a little misplay, a little dribbler. Got to be careful with that one. This pass taking very long time to get to Jocelyn Marshall. That should let Brownsburg be able to set up their defense. Her sister feeds it up to Folk. Folk right through the teeth of everything. Bold pass that didn't have much chance. Fisher for Brownsburg. Oh, you see the aggressiveness. Nice play there by Alana Jordan. Now Crook. Numbers in favor of Heritage Christian. She's trying to feed this one up to herself. Good chance here. The pass is just wide of goal. It beat Mendoza, but was just off target and rolled in front of the goalie net.
Finally, we get a glimpse of how good Crook can be out in space, and her length and the ground that she just covered right there, oh so close to picking up a goal, and almost, I think, had Marshall trailing on our near side of the field.
Free kick coming up. Take a little peek at this. How close can this be? This close. I mean, hard to tell maybe if she had put that ball a couple inches over towards her right out in front, maybe it would have been saved. Mendoza did seem to be in pretty good position, but it's going to provide very little consolation to Kaya Crook unless they can get another goal here. They have about 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Still another 40 to play after this one. Jocelyn Marshall way in front of her sister. Now Jordan. Lozano Fuentes. Jocelyn Marshall. Lozano Fuentes. Did that go out of play? It looks like it did. It'll be a throw in for Brownsburg with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Impressions so far? Your late season soccer? And
yeah.
What are you feeling? What's going through the old noggin?
Well, Heritage has responded pretty well to Brownsburg's aggression, and we finally got to see what they're capable of offensively. They've been able to take Folk kind of out of this game, and when she had the ball like she does right here, she's mostly been in the middle of the field, but her options aren't necessarily there. The Brownsburg defense are really limiting Heritage Christian to what they do, except for that one time that we just saw with Crook trying to do it all on her own.
And left back, dangerous spot. Fisher and Dawson got this whole thing started, and that one will be a throw-in. Heady play by Haley Hoskins, the junior, the goal scorer tonight. Last time Brownsburg scored more than one goal per game, it'll be a goal kick for Hoskins. They had 2 in their win against Plainfield. 1 goal between their last 2 matches against Fishers and Noblesville. Nice entry, but a little too far away. Want that to be a little bit closer to the net. Maybe someone get their head on it. Here's Jocelyn Marshall. A tricky ball down that sideline. Looking to just keep it in play. It'll be throw-in for Heritage Christian. Now here's a chance with 90 seconds to go. Eagles, if you can get everybody up, try to get some numbers. Let Folk work. But this one's going to be easy for Mendoza. No challenge. You can just pluck it up with care. Almost like just going apple picking early in the season, which I've never been able to do. Always late. Hoskins. Vander Wiley has position on Fisher. Fisher sticks with it, wins it back. Inside a minute to go. In front of goal, Kernut. Bobbled it a little bit there. I'm sure Zaylee Sox, her eyes got gigantic. And that ball was just, it had to feel like for hours was sitting there waiting. But Kernut on top of it. The Bulldogs not done. Final half minute. Hoskins, in the last gasps of the first half, she has scored twice.
That one I thought had no chance, especially off her left foot that time. Went with a little floater. Watch this again. It almost looked like Brownsburg right there. They could have lost it, but Hoskins just kind of little one-step boot right into it, and it floats right over the head of Kernut.
Perfectly timed fade on that too. Anybody trying to get a good pitching wedge would be or 9-iron would be a little jealous. But what a first half by Haley Hoskins.
And what a huge gut punch to Heritage Christian. In the final 20 seconds, you give up a goal, and you're going to go to the halftime down 2 instead of just 1.
17 minutes in, nearly 17 and a half minutes in, Haley Hoskins struck first, and then 39 minutes and 41 seconds in, Haley Hoskins cleans it up. Brownsburg with a big lead at halftime, 2-0 over Heritage Christian.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hey there, folks. Jonathan Mathis alongside Jared Lewis. Jared, 2-0. Our scoreboard. Has it felt like 2-0? Brownsburg has looked pretty good.
Honestly, it kind of has, and they have. And early on, the aggression was there early on, actually playing sort of like Bulldogs, just
aptly named.
Exactly, right. Putting the ball right around the goal. They had a couple cross kicks that didn't work out their way, but what ended up being successful for them was any kick that was perfectly placed by Hoskins, where she could just plop it over the goalie Kernet. Because every shot that Kernet kind of took face on, or whether it was on the ground, she was able to pick those ones off. But Hoskins is just placing them strategically, and that's what's given her these 2 goals. And just the field position game, Brownsburg has just had it in their control, it seems like 70 to 80% of this ball game, and that's why we have the score that we do, it appears.
We'll be back for more in a little bit on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to look at some upcoming schedules for Heritage Christian and Brownsburg soccer, and then we have our upcoming schedule here on Indiana SRN. For Heritage Christian, only 2 more games left, both on the road. University and Greenfield Central, and then their volleyball team, Jared. They're coming up soon, too.
They are coming up soon. Actually, they're playing tomorrow, and there it is right there against Park Tudor on their home court. Troy and the coach on the call of that one, and then on Thursday, more volleyball for you on Indiana SRN with Greenwood Christian taking on Traders Point. Heritage Christian also, they're playing back-to-back. They're going to be in a Circle City matchup with Chittard on Thursday. And, of course, we have our football Friday night for you. 4 games coming up in week number 6, including Gearin Catholic at Chittard. Those 2 teams in the Circle City, as is Heritage Christian, who will be on the road at Covenant Christian. Evansville Bossy will take on Evansville Memorial, 7 p.m. Central Time start for that one. And our last one for you is Elkhart taking on St. Joseph. 4 games on Friday. Hard to believe it's already week 6 in football. It is.
That is very hard to believe.
Of course, it's not here yet, but it is coming up. It'll be here just like that.
I'm interested in that Gearin Catholic and Bishop Chittard game because
Yes.
you had 2 teams that Gearin Catholic was soaring and then lose their quarterback, and then Bishop Chittard got that rude awakening by Cathedral a couple weeks ago.
I'll actually get to see that game. Troy and I will see how those 2
that's
teams
gonna be you?
beat up with each other. That is right.
Well, what's the vibe? What are you feeling with these 2 Circle City foes?
You get the vibe that it's going to be close no matter what. Like, it's just, conference play. These 2 teams are so familiar with each other, and they've had decent seasons this year. I think it'll be close throughout. I think it'll be exciting. Hopefully it's just as good as some of the games that we had last week. But yeah, again, very much looking forward to how the Golden Eagles and the Trojans end up on Friday, one of our 4 games. And I'm not sure exactly what the prediction is for how that game's going to end up, but my guess should be fairly close.
What because it should be quite interesting, but I think also we have Heritage Christian and Covenant Christian, little rivalry matchup between these 2, and Heritage Christian looking to rebound from getting the just Cecina doing their thing.
Cecina
just doing Cecina stuff. The line, Gearin Catholic and Bishop Chittard. Bishop Chittard is favored by a lot on John Harrell's website.
Okay.
Significant margin. That's not what Gearin would want to see.
No. Maybe they'll use that to fire them up. Use that to their advantage.
They better.
Chittard is always tough. But Gearin Catholic played pretty well against Heritage Christian not too long ago.
Getting ready to get back underway here. Brownsburg, by the by. Perfect 5-0 on the year. Just trounced Fishers. They have Westfield.
I think Brownsburg might be the number 1 team in 6A. I know they're highly ranked.
They've handled just about everybody. Poor Avon got beat 60-21 by Brownsburg, and we are underway here in the second half. Bulldogs excelling in both types of football entering this week. The girls team looking really good, soccer, and then the football team has been one of the best teams anywhere across this fruited plain. We'll see what Heritage Christian can do. It just seems like with Brownsburg, and here's another just honest attack. That one wide of Kernet. There'll be a goal kick. But Brownsburg, they haven't been able to generate too many just pure offensive chances. And what I mean by that is just a standard offensive set. They haven't really been able to do that. Kernet's been denying those chances. But then Haley Hoskins has been like the fast pass for the line. They haven't had to wait for it because she's just been scoring from from half the field away whenever she wants to, as the goal kick's getting set up. Brownsburg with the goal kick. This is their, or the corner kick rather, their third of the match. See the line formed. Everyone pressed in very deep, and now they float out. Here's the ball in front, dangerous spot, not able to fend it off, not able to finish it off, and it rolls harmlessly over the back line.
Boy, that was dangerous, and I don't know how that one squeaked through. But can't imagine going down 3-0 if you're the Eagles. A quick strike to start off the second half would have them in probably the deepest hole that they've seen all season.
At least for a while. They lost by 3 to Guerin last week, but they did score twice in that matchup against the Golden Eagles. So you don't want to be just in a spot where Brownsburg can pick their score, but you have to be, if you're Heritage Christian, you got to be able to turn this around sooner than later. You don't have, I mean, you don't, unless you have Haley Hoskins, you're not going to be scoring just from half court.
And the defense from Brownsburg, too, has been pretty stifling. Because like we said, Heritage Christian has had no sort of rhythm offensively. They haven't been able to put themselves in any sort of position to get a close shot on goal.
Yeah, that was a good look there by Brownsburg. And we'll see. Sometimes it seems like a lot of high school teams, this is the part of the game where they struggle, where they get put on defense, and then you have to be so precise on these kicks, and if you're not able to get it to your teammate and it's just a quick turnover, then you're in big trouble, because then it's just relentless. The other team's on offense, and Heritage Christian's trying to avoid that fate right here. Abby Folk right into the middle of the field to Lozano Fuentes. Folk, crafty, can she work her way through? No. Piercy pushes it up to Johnson. Johnson running with the Eagles, and a save made by Carnut, and look who is right there was Zaylee Sox, who is just lurking. So the Bulldogs, they are not resting with their 2-goal lead. They're hungry for more, Jared.
Kind of how this entire game started off is what we're seeing to start the second half.
Fisher. That's too far. We're just beyond the line. If she's going to put that a little bit in front, maybe Hoskins could have got her head on it. Here's Snyder. The freshman has been pushed into partial goalkeeper duty. Very young back line. Kernut's a freshman. Snyder's a freshman. Jordan a freshman. Mackenzie Jones a sophomore. Ancient by comparison. Hoskins again. Holy moly, 3 of them. She's relentless.
Get the hats out. That one was just pretty similar to her first goal. Let's see how deep this one was. Too much space to work with, too, from the 20-yard line, and just the mustard behind that ball, too. Up in that high corner, tough spot for Kernet to try and jump up and get a hand on that one.
All 3 of those goals scored by Hoskins would have been tough for any of the 3A level boys goalies to stop. But when they're able to shoot over the top of Kernet.
And I think that one had the most firepower behind it, too. I mean, that one was just laced and perfectly placed up into that top corner.
And you feel for Kernet and this Heritage Christian. Kernet's played extremely well tonight. She's been able to do a lot of the things you need a goalie to do to be successful, but there's some of those shots that are so high in the net, and they're struck so well that she doesn't really have a realistic play on it.
No, she's done all she could tonight. It's just been Hoskins is on a whole nother level. It's been a career outing, I think. This is her coming out party, so to speak.
She had 2 goals entering tonight. 3 of them here on senior night at Heritage Christian, spoiling the party. And we still have over a half hour to play. That was Jones trying to get to the right position. Here's Jordan. Pressure from behind by Sox. Zaylee Sox wants to get into the act. And that ball just fended off by the Heritage Christian defender. Firkowitz. Hoskins. Julikainen. And the flag's up. With soccer, you just never know what you're going to get. And I feel like, Jared, first game we've done together this season for soccer. And then we see this just incredible individual performance by Haley Hoskins.
Yeah, I'm going to say
here she is with the free kick.
She's
not within range.
Right, exactly. She is. Who knows what she can do right here?
Go right at goal. Well, she's trying to help out her teammates, and that's plucked by Kernet. When Kernet can make a play, she does, but Hoskins is blown by her a few times. Off Crook's head. Crook in pursuit. And there'll be a free kick for Brownsburg. Natalie Hay. So Brownsburg, their next opponents, all conference foes. Westfield at Franklin Central and at Zionsville. Zionsville has been very impressive this season, but they've drawn a lot of their opponents. Here's Dawson. The Eagles of Zionsville Eagles, they've been a very unconventional top team. Lined up again, Hoskins. This time it's through the uprights.
Put her on the football team.
And she missed the soccer goal, but I think this would have been good on a Friday night. A goal kick coming up for Heritage Christian. But you see, Noblesville was strong against Brownsburg, but Class 3A and girls soccer has been a little bit more open than it has. Carmel's good again. The usual suspects are as good as always, but the Noblesville juggernaut has seemed to come back down to earth a little bit, make things a little bit more fair for everybody. You never rule out the Greyhounds as Lantrip throws it back in. And I think when you look at Heritage Christian, it will be on the road against a University in Greenfield Central the rest of the way. This is a good gut check for them. They've played a very tough schedule. They are on their way to be 6-6 now, barring the miraculous. But it's when you're ranked number 3 and you're a 500 team. It helps when you play just a brutal schedule, and that's what Heritage Christian's been doing. They've been testing themselves all season long, and that generally has some benefits when you get to the playoffs as a 1A school.
And that could help you in just about any sport too. With, if you're a smaller school and during the football or basketball season you're playing a 3A or 4A size competitor, it may not end up being the result you want, but you're going to learn a lot from that game that you're going to take with you throughout the season and into the postseason. And who knows just how far it could take you. Seeing that type of play at that type of level, it's only going to benefit you.
Yeah, the teams that Heritage Christian has lost to: Roncalli, Bishop Chittard, Conference foes Brebeuf Jesuit, Park Tudor, Guerin, and losing to Brownsburg. None of them are slouches. So it'll be the task for Raina Eckel and this Heritage Christian Eagles club is turn what has been some growing experiences and turn those into positives. Turn those into postseason wins and playing through adversity. We'll see what Folk does with this. This would be a long try at goal. This is a lot of times you'll send that wall. You see their feet at the very top of your screen. Rush those in at goal. Will Folk lay it up? She's going to drive it at goal and miss it high. Bold chance, tough shot. You have to go over the wall, too, from defenders. High risk, high reward, and that one just missed by a foot, maybe.
That may be Folk's first shot attempt, I think, let alone shot on goal.
I think you're right, Jared. She's had to be deployed as more of a distributor, almost like a point guard instead of the star small forward. That pass almost just given away to Brownsburg. Dawson left it outside. Here's the jog over. Johnson takes some physical contact. Nice play there by Bella Snyder, not yielding any ground, forcing a Brownsburg throw-in. And Tulakainen will do the honors. Kirsten, a junior. Tulakainen last year and for most of her life been an outfielder. She's been playing up on the attack, but they moved her back into the 5 spot this year, one of the wings. She's been playing right back, playing in the defense. They just needed her back there, and she's taken to it well, but it's always a tough transition when you go from being someone who's used to being part of the offense and then playing defense, and sometimes it goes different ways, but by all accounts, Tulakainen's handled it well. Has an assist this year. That's Hay. Pressuring Folk. Folk had to allay the referee. Hay leaves it outside to Fisher. Fisher sends this one right to Kernan. Not as crisp as Haley Hoskins has been doing so far tonight. Right to the foot of Dawson. Lays it up to Fisher. Fisher trying to work it around Mackenzie Jones. Dawson sends it in the air. It's tricky. It's right in front of goal. It weaves on in and a score. Olivia Johnson.
The celebration after, too, is pretty good. I mean, you're up 3-0, but, I mean, you can always appreciate a good goal, and this one's fun. Over the head of one girl, and Johnson using her foot to just keep it right in front. She's point-blank range, and Easy taps it in with the left. Well done by her. Well done by the rest of the Brownsburg team.
One for the memory books for Olivia Johnson. Her second goal of the year, the senior. Starting winger for Brownsburg. And when you just keep knocking on the door, then you just keep giving yourself opportunities. And Brownsburg, that's what they're doing. They're staying in the fight. They've got, the way they see it, they've got just about 27 more minutes for someone else to get their name in the book. Johnson adds herself to the list of the multi-goal scorers this season, which once had 5. Now Johnson's added herself to the list. Hoskins has blown away the competition now with 5 goals on the year, 3 of them tonight. All of them majestic. Landtrip waiting for the throw-in, the freshman. She scored a goal this season. It was against Noblesville last time out, the 1 goal of that game. And what a moment. As a freshman, getting to play varsity is an accomplishment enough, but then to be a goal scorer for the varsity is something else entirely. Folk got her noggin on it, but not able to control it. Here's Mitchell. Oh, another chance here. Sophia Dawson. Look out for the outside. That's Hoskins. Can't give her any room. She weaves it in. That was closed off well by the Heritage Christian defenders, but it should be a corner kick coming up for Brownsburg with another great chance to pile on here with almost 25 minutes to go by the time by that time Tulakainen sends us into the night. Gets a lot of air. Perfect corner kick. Can it land down? It's a little bit behind Hoskins. No one able to get a header on it, but that's almost perfect is what I should have said. That was off of Jocelyn Marshall, so it'll be a throw-in for Brownsburg.
The theme is continuing also into the second half. The first half, time of possession, hugely controlled by Brownsburg. And a little over 15 minutes into the second half, and now they are just going crazy on the north end side of the football field.
The Brownsburg offense, there was a juncture there when we were talking. It looked like, back in the first, forever ago now, where it felt like Heritage Christian had begun to control. Remember that? It was like an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like they were controlling the pace, but what they weren't able to do was get into the offensive third of the field. They could get it into the middle and then move it around, but they weren't getting any pressure on Brownsburg. They weren't making Brownsburg defend. And just through that, not stalling tactic, but just not able to stick it to Brownsburg. Brownsburg, the Bulldogs, then able to just build up a huge lead right now. And it's tough for the Eagles. They're playing up 2 classes. If this was football, they'd be playing up 4 classes. Like Brownsburg, unflattering record, but the teams that they've played and that they've played well are just a who's who of the top teams in the state.
I think you can also see a slight uptick in just the speed and the pace that Brownsburg has been playing at. And their on-ball defense, too, has been, we used the word stifling back in the first half, and it is still that. They're making these passes as hard as they can for Heritage Christian, and it's really not allowing them to get within 20 yards of the net.
Send right out of play. Aya Crook, who's slowed down from her torrid pace she was on. She's had a hat trick in each of the last 2 matches for Heritage Christian. This ball is going to bound away, and Mendoza will claim it. Maybe could have let it go. Didn't really matter. She picked it up anyway. By the way, in case you happen to be interested, nearing halftime, the Buffalo Bills lead by 3 against the Tennessee Titans, 10-7. Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings are underway, but you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot. Just double screen it.
Everyone's got all these devices now. They can multitask, right?
They better. I don't want them to feel like they're missing out on things. Oh, look, there's a Brownsburg bus. By the way, this reminds me. So how this stadium is set up at Heritage Christian, if you've been watching this and been like, hey, I don't see anybody there, the bleachers are all on the near side of the field. So there's nobody sits on the far side. That's the same for football, same for everything. Soccer, track. If they played a baseball game on this field or just ice hockey, which they wouldn't, if they did, then all the bleachers would still be on this near side of the field looking out like you are. So if you're like, hey, I don't see anybody there, that's not because nobody's there. There's plenty of people there, but they're all sitting like you are at home looking at the same angle. This is from the press box view, which is on top of the gym. And on the side of the gym has all of the state championships won, mostly by the female athletes at Heritage Christian, including the girls soccer team, and then about 15,000 titles by the girls basketball team.
A long stretch of dominance for Heritage Christian girls basketball not too long ago.
This was just remarkable what they built there for the girls basketball team and the amount of players who went on to play not even college basketball, but in the WNBA and high levels of college basketball. About 20 minutes to go here. And the task for Heritage Christian is uniting and getting ready for the postseason, where they will surely be one of the favorites yet again. They entered tonight, 3rd in 1A, and That's not going to change anytime soon. But if you get a good result against University and Greenfield Central, you're going to be taking a lot of momentum. Even if today ends up being a shutout loss, you're going to be taking a lot of momentum going into the postseason, which is when you need to be good anyway. Vanderweil. It's hit by Johnson. Inside 20 left. 3 goals by Haley Hoskins in the 17th minute, in the 40th minute, and then in the 45th, 46th. I always have a hard time. It's a lot easier when you're watching like world football and they just count up and you can just, it's easier to do.
Right.
You have to count down and do math. Fending that one off is Winston. It'll be a throw in for Tullikainen in Brownsburg. And Kernick gobbles that up, and you got to feel Brownsburg about 18, almost 19 minutes away from a huge confidence boost. And now the question, can they translate that? Now, if we're looking at Heritage Christian, you have those feelings of moral victories when you go toe-to-toe against a 3A school and compete well. But if you're Brownsburg, you're playing a 1A school, you're winning handily. Now, you have to convert that into success building up as you play the remaining portion of your conference schedule coming up here over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, the pregame, when we talked about that 2-9-1 record that they have, it is a little, misconceiving where this is a much better team than what it appears to be on paper. And, yeah, you mentioned confidence boost and just how tough of a schedule it's probably been, and just the games they've been in where it's been close and they're playing, really, really good opponents in their class. This one, I think, is going to be really good. You're facing a state champion, from last year. You are facing a school that is smaller than you in class, but you have put together a really astounding offensive performance here tonight.
And just a really good confidence boost for Haley Hoskins as well. Maybe that's the lesson. Just give her the ball. Lozana Fuentes. Tracked down by Hay. She's going to escort it out of play. Should be a goal kick coming up for Mendoza. Brownsburg has been a team recently that you don't have to go that far back to see a very successful program. They won 12 games in 2020. There are 8 games in 2021. They have a tough schedule the rest of the way, but this is a program that's not used to being this far in the red on the ledger. With a long run by Hoskins, great pace from her. Haley trying to set up another one, and it trickles out of play. And it looks like it's been one for a corner kick, and Tullikainen will do that, or it'll be a throw-in for Tullikainen. 16 to play. Tullikainen not able to straighten that one out. So as the subs come in, close to 15 minutes to go. And these two teams looking ahead to the postseason. Waiting the corner kick. Driven high, driven well in front. The header not able to get straightened out by Kasia Hansen. Looking at the coaches poll, Noblesville #1 in 3A in girls soccer. But Hamilton Southeastern, Carmel, I think arguments could be made better in some ways. Zionsville's been good, but they've got a lot of draws. St. Joseph coming down from the north. Castle rising from the south. Cathedral always tough. It'll be a tough sledding in 3A, and then you look at 1A. Park Tudor, it's always good. Providence, always good. Heritage Christian right in that mix with Modern Day from Evansville. That to look forward to as we roll into October. That's about the most we've seen Mendoza, but she hasn't really been tested tonight. No great chances for Heritage Christian, and it's been a pretty not very busy evening for that Brownsburg defense. Gave them a bit of a rest. Here's Hoskins, and that's a testament to the midfield by Brownsburg, just winning the ball back as quickly as they have been able to, and not letting Heritage Christian, the Eagles, take flight. Played out by Conley. Dunlop in front and poked wide by Jones. Good play by Jones. Madeline Mitchell, a senior who's yet to score this year, 21 in white. She was looking for her first goal scoring opportunity.
Pretty good placement yet again. And even with Brownsburg, some of the subs that have come in, they're still staying aggressive. They're still looking to put one through the back of the net.
I think you saw the excitement on Olivia Johnson's face when she scored. Like, anytime you're able to score a goal, it's just such a celebratory moment. There's so many players who haven't scored one yet this season on Brownsburg.
Right, and this is game number 13 for them. And Johnson, I mean, you got to think, you go through 13 games for 80 total minutes, and you only have one goal to your name. Well, the second one is going to feel just as good as that first one did.
And then let alone the seniors who haven't scored yet, navigating through a rough senior season, not necessarily in team building, but just the results. Here's Crook. That's run down by Dunlop. Marshall getting ready to throw it in. Jocelyn. And if you look at for Brownsburg, the result like tonight's, where they got beat by Fishers last week, 3-0 shutout, and then they're almost shut out by Noblesville, scored a goal. That one into the net, drifting over Mendoza. Shutout no more. Heritage Christian persistent and nets one.
Winston with a good little arc on that one. Another look at it. Finally, tremendous offense. Winston right there, bottom of your screen. Good pass by Marshall. Whole lot of defenders on that side of the field. And Winston just says, okay, let me just place it. Let me just send it over the head, kind of similar to what Hoskins has been doing a couple of times tonight. Tremendous shot on goal by Winston.
Soccer's not supposed to be that easy. Just find empty space from 30 yards away.
I don't think either you or I could do that either.
I guarantee that. I definitely know you can't.
Nope.
I don't think I can. But that was Hoskins-esque.
That was very impressive.
4-1. So Hoskins in the 17th and the 40th and the 46th, and now Winston in the 76th, and this one, or whereabouts, we're about to talk about where for Brownsburg. So they were 4-1 losers against Noblesville on Saturday, and if you're getting beat combined between those two matches 7-1, and then you get to come out and just take the shackles off the offense a little bit, 4-1. I'll be feeling pretty good. They're on the west side. Here's Christian trying to keep this in play. It's going to trickle harmlessly for a goal kick. 10:30 to go. And as has been a custom, Bella Snyder will handle the duties tonight. We're waiting for some subs. A nice ovation from the Brownsburg supporters, JV team. Taken right away by Crook. Volk. The sharpshooter, Winston. Couldn't quite get that one by Hoskins. Now this is a big long run here, and somebody was offsides.
Hoskins is still playing super hard, and what a great save. Because it looked like Winston, she could have pinpointed that one to somebody ahead. I don't know if it was Marshall or Crook that got in front of her. That could have been another interesting spot for Heritage Christian with a shot.
Instead, it'll be Natalie Hay from the Eagle Head. Just under 9.5 to play. There. A rough contact. It'll be a free kick for Heritage Christian coming up here. Ball volleyed around. That's Hansen trying to control it. Lozano Fuentes, one of the captains for Heritage Christian. Oh, she, I think, disagrees with the ruling. And Heritage Christian ball. So this is the same thing. You have to be able to throw it from right where it left out. Or whereabouts. You always see the crow hop. They always do the little crow hop to get extra power behind it. But you can't just walk up the sideline, which players try to do all the time. Now, Heritage Christian got a little something cooking here. Nice move by Jocelyn Marshall in front. There's Winston. And save made by Mendoza.
I don't know where any of that offense was in the first half or for the first...
Rather, Blair Pope, excuse me.
About 20 minutes of the second half. But Winston kind of being a little Kickstarter here.
It just feels like now it's late in the game, but it just feels like Heritage Christian playing with more life right now, to your point. Volk. Back to Jordan. Cross to Jones. And Jones not able to handle it. Marshall. Actually, Lantrip. Jocelyn Marshall plays it back to Vanderwiley. Vanderwiley, one of seniors on this team, getting her starting moments, a captain. Bringing that championship level experience. This ball just kept on rolling forward, trying to find some room. A blast. That's off the post. Off the ricochet. Brownsburg not done yet. This one fed in. Hansen not able to get there. And the whistle blows. And who's it on? I think it's going to be on Hansen with a shove. Six minutes to play. Bella Snyder. When you look at a roster that says young, it's a very rough touch by Jones, but when you look at a roster as young as Heritage Christian, I feel like there's a lot of players youths being served, getting a lot of experience in some big-time games against some big-time opponents. Just going to continue to make this program future even brighter. For the home team in blue, Marshall. Ooh, thought about it. Abby Folk's just a sophomore. It's Gordon Marshall, junior. So a lot of these key contributors, you're going to see them back next year. Lana Jordan there winning the ball. She's a freshman. Lozano Fuentes tries one from distance too, but it's a bobbler. And Blair Pope scoops it up.
Jordan and Crook are very similar. They almost look like twins, very similar in their build, and just being those underclassmen, freshman and sophomore, a lot of promise. If you can, which we only saw one glimpse of it with Crook back in the first half, but if you can get those two involved using their length and their speed, they could cover a lot of ground. They could be very effective in the future.
Ready for the free kick. Onside, 4.5 to go. 5 goals tonight. Haley Hoskins, Olivia Jordan, Olivia Johnson, and then Zara Winston. And there's still time left for another. Elizabeth Fisher trying a little okey doke on Jordan. Jordan not having any of it. Winston. Crook. Nice pass. Folk threads the needle up to Crook with great pace. Crook stayed behind the ball, drives it in, and scores!
Right on cue. How about that? The sophomore connects. You're just talking about her speed. Covering all that ground on that side of the field. Splits the two defenders here. Little extra burst right there at the end before she gets it off with the right.
And she froze up Pope. That was a point-blank rocket from Kaya Cook. And Crook now 12 goals on her sophomore campaign. And how about that class of 2025? Folk and Crook, 28 goals between them this season. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Corin Marshall, she's got a goal to her credit this season. Well, we'll see. 3 minutes to go. 2-goal game. If you already got two, pretty quick. Folk trying to creep in on that one. That's fended off by Gerald for the moment. Here's Marshall. I mean, how crazy would this get if Heritage Christian's able to net another goal here? And you'd feel like it has to be quick.
Well, you talked about it, how they've been playing with a little bit more energy, a little bit more sense of urgency here in these final minutes.
Well, that is going to be off of Winston. Brownsburg might have to slide into some delay tactics. Here's a substitution, so you have to wait. There are lots of ways you can legally stall in soccer and just take off 30 seconds. Work in the subs, change out the who's going to be doing the throw in or doing the corner kick. Lots of discussions. Ooh, that's going to be a Heritage Christian throw in. So now Heritage Christian going to hurry up, just like in football. Ooh, that pass just behind Lozano Fuentes. Up to Chernett. Bella Snyder. Hoskins. And here's Olivia Johnson. I was going to say, if she could keep that ball in play, it'd be the chance to really put this game on ice. 90 seconds to go. Brownsburg, for a brief moment there, you got to be a little worried, but it's looking pretty good. Pretty good at the moment with 80 seconds left. How quickly can Heritage Christian go? Maybe too little, too late is the vibe, but here comes Winston. And with speed, Jocelyn Marshall at the sideline. 60 seconds to go. Lozano Fuentes. Winston. Four unanswered goals by Brownsburg. 2 by Heritage Christian, and the late sub coming in is going to be agonizing for Heritage Christian in desperation, just trying to get something with 30 seconds left. Lozano Fuentes feeds it over to Winston. You see the Brownsburg defense not giving anyone room to breathe. Vander Wiley tries to feed it up. That's easy for Pope. And now 15 seconds can just dribble away. Jared, impressions tonight over these final seconds as Brownsburg is going to go to 3-9-1 on the season.
The aggression was there early and often from Brownsburg. We've already mentioned it a handful of times, but them and the way they controlled the ball tonight on their side of the field was just too much for Heritage Christian. The Eagles were never able to get anything going offensively, no rhythm in that first half. And the individual performance tonight from Haley Hoskins was tremendous. Super fun to watch. We had a feeling, a little insight that she could have been the best player on the field tonight, and I think she answered that for sure with the hat trick.
So on behalf of our entire crew, Jerry Collins manning the P's and Q's, Joel Mears up on camera, Jared Lewis, and I'm Jonathan Mathis. It was a fun one. Heritage Christian now 6-6 on the season. They'll be going on the road for the next 2 games at University and Greenfield Central. Then the playoffs for them. Brownsburg hosts Westfield, then goes to Franklin Central and Zionsville to close out their regular season. Postseason coming up for everybody. Exciting time of year.
It sure is. It's fall, man.
It is fall.
Fall is the best.
All right, we'll celebrate more fall weather for you and some postseason soccer on IndianaSRN.